Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and this is part 5 of Founders of Gloomhaven. And in the last video, we did an upkeep video of just some of the mistakes that I made up to this point in trying to cover them. I actually caught 2 more that I want to make mention of at the beginning of this one, and they're fairly minor, but just something that actually happened during the upkeep video of the last one. We had gone ahead and we moved the wood to this area right here, and if you'll notice, if we had have done that when we actually built it back in part 4, technically it would have been connected to the brown door, which actually has a wood icon, which means we would have automatically delivered that resource. So technically this should already be covered as well. So 3 of these would be covered and we'd only need just a silk or cloth still left. So 2 more points for me, jumping me to 36. That's one thing I want to mention. The other thing was something Isaac had actually mentioned to me, and that was the fact that the driver card, I was not able to actually pick this up, and I didn't realize I didn't have the cattle resource yet, and I went ahead and grabbed this. The only fair way to make this work is to lose this card, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to basically swap it for the next thing in this pile it's only 0 influence, of course, and these cards are. I obviously have to make sure it's something I own, but I also want it to be as close to what this one is as possible, because strategically this is why I picked this one, was because I wanted the advanced resource. But there's one here, it says carpenter, and it's build a personal building. So it's very close to this in terms of the building aspect. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it out for this one. I know this is a little bit wonky in terms of doing that, but it's like legally I'm not allowed to even have that in my hand or have access to it. So this is gonna be the card I'm gonna choose to put into my hand. Okay, so we're gonna move right into it now. All the, hopefully that's everything and I didn't miss anything, because at this point now you guys can chime in during this video if I was to make any mistakes. I will do my best not to, but there is a lot to remember, and this is I believe this is my first time actually playing it through to this point, so I think we're doing pretty good despite a number of mistakes earlier on, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. So let's get into this turn and see what I can muster up. So at the end of the day, the most important thing, of course, is these neutral claim tokens. So we've got 3 of them. So we need basically some type of fur, it looks like, for this location to satisfy, or we could potentially go for like what is a city hall type look. In terms of fur, what you need is we need cattle and wood. We have wood, we don't have cattle yet. This one we need jewelry, and we need the book, or that book icon. The cool thing is the book icon is actually good for this one. So by actually going for the university's book icon, if I'm even naming that resource correctly, if I get that one, then I'm ready or lined up to get the City Hall one later. So maybe for this turn, I'll be focusing on the fur, the book, and the silk cloth, which actually will satisfy silk cloth here, as well as technically satisfying it up here as well, which wouldn't be bad, because if I can go ahead and clean it up, then no neutral token will land on that next turn. So we'll see if we can make that work. It's quite a bit to get done. The biggest thing for me probably right now is getting more space. I've got a little bit cluttered now and I don't have much room to expand, so I'm gonna have to cross the river into the next section, which we haven't done yet, which is gonna be kind of cool because we'll have to build a bridge and start expanding into the next area of Gloomhaven and see what our options are out here. So let's see what we can do. The first thing I probably want to do, and I really hope I do this in an order that's very efficient because there's a lot to think about. The other thing I want to make mention of is this fact: Comfort and Class is in the offer right now in terms of prestige buildings. It's free, and it's actually a really easy one to do. It'll give us a lot of points, and if we're already going for cloth and we're already going for jewelry, this is the one we probably want to see on the board. This one will force us into doing something or getting something that we're not ready for. 2 resources actually we don't even have close to getting. So it might be good to go for this one for a break for 1 round, and then next round go after a little bit tougher of one. Plus it gives us some big points, which would be nice. Okay, but enough about that. Let's see what we can do. So we want to cross the river. One thing I want to do is give myself the availability of having another meeple. So I want to put another house down. I can't have a house in the same section of an area of Gloomhaven. I have to put it in a separate section, meaning I have to build a bridge. To build a bridge, we can use any card from our hand. And I've got things like Construct, for instance, which allows me to build a personal building. I also have this one up here. Now this cool one that we picked up when we swapped it out, it says build a personal building at cost -2. So I could use this, and that would save me some coin, which I think I will do. So I'm going to use this face up. Sadly, I'll lose this card now by using it face up, but it's only going to cost me, instead of 4, as it says there, to purchase, it's going to be -2. So it's only going to cost me 2 in order to unlock this house. Now, No, sorry, and it's not a house I'm going after, it's a bridge, my mistake. So we're gonna be building a bridge, not a house. So if that's the case, I don't unlock the meeple, and I shouldn't have even been pointing at that, because the first step is to get across the river, and then we'll build a house once we're over there. So I've gone ahead and done that. I paid my 2, so I'm gonna take a bridge token, which is it's same cost as the house anyway. Again, we paid 2 because it's -2 on the card. We're gonna build this bridge across. So we can put it, as long as it's adjacent, it's a legal placement. So I'm gonna go something like, I want it to connect to some roads, and that's the other thing you'll notice is that it would be nice to place one more road here, because then all the resources that are on this area will be able to fish through the bridge and come across into this area, which will really help with whatever buildings we end up putting down, right? So, but for now, we don't have to worry about it, because we'll have a turn to get them on the board, and then the next turn, the requirements will start to hit us like crazy if we even get that far. So we got the bridge there, that's great. This card has now been used and is tossed. I don't get that back, it's gone. So the next thing I want to think about doing is potentially talking about getting another resource on the board. I think that would be wise in order to get myself closer to satisfying either the cloth resource, which would satisfy 2 of the prestige buildings, or going for the fur or the book. I need to figure out which one's a base level resource. So if I go over here to my base level resources, it looks like the cattle's a base, and it looks like, I think that's it actually. Do I have all the resources out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, not even close. So I definitely got quite a few I still need to do, but it looks like the cattle one is going to be probably the most prominent, because the cattle, as you can see from the building guide, is located next to the fur, which I need. So if I get the cattle in, I already have wood, means I can make fur, so I can satisfy the Merchant's Guild. And if I get the cattle in down here, I just need to get a gear in, and then I can make the silk. Now, this is where it gets sketchy, because I don't know if I can get... actually, I can make this work, I think. I can make this work. I've got a plan. And it involves me using my meeple on one of these fancy cards, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let's do this first. Perform a trade action in an entrance or coastal space. Okay, so perform a trade action in an entrance or coastal. So I have to place this in an entrance or coastal place. Well, I guess that doesn't give me too many options, but you know what? I've got lots of space in here and here. Well, I guess that's adjacent, so that's not going to work, but in here would be valid, or here would be valid. So let's go ahead and place or build this guy here. Now we have to, based on where we put it, it's going to cost us a certain number of points. So for us, if we're putting this in our, let me see, if we're putting this in the entrance or coastal, it's going to be 2, green will be 3, and red is 1. It'd be cheaper to put it in the 1 spot. You know, putting it right here is not bad. I like it right here. So let's build it here. This is going to cost us 1, 1 because it's on an entrance place, and I like that, nice and cheap. So now we've got that resource in play. Now there's nothing that automatically will satisfy, but I could be wrong. Let's double check. As soon as you get the cattle in play, and we have the wood in play, we can go ahead and build the fur. So that's going to be the next step. It might be worthwhile looking at that to find out what size it is. Oh, interesting. It's a nice, long, straight one. So this makes me wonder whether or not I should actually put this here. But yes, maybe I should, because this 4 wouldn't even be able to legally be placed here anyway. So that's okay, I think. I think I'm okay with leaving that there. Yikes, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so that's there. Of course, when I put that down, I automatically get to put a token on it. So I'm going to go ahead and bump my income up to 9. So that's good. Got a little bit more income for the next round. I've used my trade action. Now this is a regular one, so it's going to be discarded. That's gone. So what I'm gunning to do now, essentially, is probably build an advanced resource which can satisfy the fur, is probably what I'm looking for. So in order to get the fur is what we were just talking about, which is this guy right here. I'm going to need to use a card from my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and use the upgrade, which allows me to build an advanced resource building and a connected road. So we also get a road to use as well, so that's good. And of course, we'd have to pay the amount on this advanced resource, so it's not cheap. So that's going to be 4. It's pretty expensive. So now we're down to just 2 gold, which is not, or 2 money, I guess. This is not good. So this has got to go somewhere. Now it doesn't have a border around it, so I believe, and I could be mistaken, I sure hope I'm not, I have to try to figure out where this is legally allowed to be placed. I think it might make sense to drop it across the river here, like this maybe. So by putting it over here like so, putting that down, I can put a claim token on this one. I believe this is a legal placement based on its color border. It's legal to be placed in essential area. So that's good. This is going to bump me up to 10 income. So now I'm really, really high up the charts now. And of course, I have one road. And as long as this road is put into place that connects to my resource, it's a valid placement. So if I go like this, I've now efficiently connected my fur resource through the city, and really it's connected across the whole grid. And the cool thing is, by putting that in place just like I did, this fur resource can make it all the way around and all the way through and touch the Merchants Guild, meaning that I've just satisfied and delivered resources to the Merchants Guild and gained myself 4 points, so jumping me to 40, and I can take that neutral claim token and chuck it. So now I've got one less thing to worry about. I've only got 2 more to deal with this turn. So I've used that card fully. There's nothing else I can do there. Let me just make sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. There's quite a bit to remember, that's for sure. But there's a lot of strategy, and I like that. So now what we're gonna do is probably build our house. Now the only problem is I don't have a lot of money. I need probably one more. Do we wanna focus on a house? That's a good question. Or do I wanna keep that for... No, I don't. Well, let me think about this. If I want to satisfy the silk requirement or even this requirement, what do I need? I need food and the writing. Okay, so I have kind of the writing and the food. I have those already, I think. Oh no, I don't have the writing one yet. Ugh, so that puts me... So this one may be one I'm going to end up having to pay for. So that's going to hurt. The silk one or the cloth one, I need the cattle and I need gear. Yikes. So I need essentially... And the gear is an advanced resource too. That's rough. So this is going to be a little bit tougher. Sorry about that. I got a phone call coming in, so I just had to shut that off. So one thing that's going to be a little bit tricky with this is going to be trying to determine essentially what is going to be a smart placement for this stuff. I had to just toss that aside. Sorry, guys. Let me see here. Let's do... Now, my one plan with my one meeple at some point is to put this on the return up to 3 discarded cards, accept income into your hand. I'm going to do that for sure, bringing back some of these cards, which allow me to buy some stuff and stuff like that. So that's going to come in handy for sure. But I also need to create some gold as well. I need to create some money, I guess is what I should be saying. This one here lets me recruit. I could recruit, which would give me another lasting influence. That would be smart. But then I've got to pay money to do it. The worst part about this is that the cheapest ones are 2 symbols that I don't currently actually have it on the board yet. So that makes things difficult. So the recruit action probably isn't that good of an option right now. It might be better in my case to put this down. I'm going to probably use the Taskmaster, which lets me get 2 advisors at once. I can't afford 2 advisors at once this round, so I'm going to use this as a follow action to gain a coin, I think, so I can get some more money to make some more stuff. Now I would be able technically to go ahead and build a personal building, which would be worthwhile. So shoot. Let's go ahead and do, let's do the personal build. Oh, this is tough. No, I can't. I got to use that for constructing. I have to hold off on the house right now. I've got to focus more on the other stuff. The recruit offer is not a good idea right now. What is this one? Ringleader. Build a personal building, then gain 1 temporary influence for each house you own. Oh, that's pretty good. So that would make the house building much more useful, but then I'm not getting the resources out on the board that I need to satisfy the deliveries, and that's my main problem here. So right now I've got 3 discarded cards. So what I'm going to do is use my meeple right now. I actually have to spend, how does that work? I have to actually do a follow action to make that active. So in order for me to use my meeple on something which is considered a performing prestige building action, I have to actually use a follow action. So I have to pick one of these that I don't think I'm going to do this turn, and it's likely going to be, oh man, I want to recruit because it'll give me lasting influence, so that's good. The ringleader one's tough. Maybe it's this one. This one's -1 cost. Yeah, I'll use this. This one, I want it cheap. I want to keep that for, this is tough. This is tough. Let's go ahead and chuck the one that costs a little less. Yes. So hard to decide. Yes, I don't think I'll be able to even use this one. So I'm going to use this one as a follow action. So now I've got 4 discarded cards. I'm going to now use the perform prestige building action with the one I just used the follow action for. So I'm going to be able to put this meeple on any of these I want because I've delivered to all of them. And I'm going to choose to return up to 3 discarded cards except income into your hand. So I'm going to obviously take back the Taskmaster, the upgrade, and the trade. I didn't really need the Taskmaster. I could technically... Actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't really matter. I'll bring this one back because it's technically in my discard pile. So there we go. So I've got these back here and now I've got some more options. So what I want to do right off is do my trade again. And I want to use this to build a smaller tier resource. My focus right now is trying to get the cloth satisfied, I think. Yeah, probably just, I got to get one of these going. It's either cloth or the book. So I could either go, oof. The cloth one, I just need a gear. So it's either the gear or the writing. Let's go ahead. Let's see the size of these. So here's the gear, and here is the. Where's the writing one? I must be going blind. Oh, it's right here. So it's a little one, tier 1 resource. It's either. So this is perfect. They're 2 totally different ones. So I can use the trade right now to go for this one, which is an original resource kind of thing. So I can go ahead and get this. I just got to figure out where I'm putting it and how much it's going to cost, and I got to put it somewhere valid. So I'll likely put this one, it needs to be somewhere that's linked in and not adjacent to anything, which makes things a little bit more tough. Do I have any spots? The only spot's up here, but that's a really good spot for the gear later on. I don't want to clog it up with a single one. Can I put this thing anywhere? Where's a prestige building? I could put it on the sand, but the sand costs 2 to put it there. So it would be legal to put it here, but then there's no way out for it. And what is this writing needed for? It's needed for the book. So it needs to connect to, I need to get it somehow to be able to help out this situation over here. It can't work there. Well, running out of options here. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not valid. I really don't want to use this space. Shoot. Kind of run into a little bit of a jam here. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do is and I haven't paid for anything yet. I'm gonna put this back, and I'm just gonna think about that for a second because I don't know if whether that's gonna work perfect yet. Maybe what I'll do is do the upgrade action first instead of the small resource, and go for the gears. So I'm gonna go for the gears, which is gonna help me get the silk. This one here allows me to get a road out as well, and as long as that's connected, maybe that can somehow help me. Who knows? So I got this, and we're gonna get the gear. The gear costs 4. So I don't have enough money. I'm going to have to use a follow action to generate some money so I can pick something I'm not going to use, like maybe recruiting an advisor that I can't even really afford anyway, but I should hold on to that because I get a lasting influence from that. So maybe the personal building one. So I'm going to use this to gain myself, I'm using a follow action to gain a coin. I'm using my upgrade right now and spending all 4 of my coins to gain this gear advanced resource. In order to have this, I have to have the anvil. Oh my gosh, I can't even make this. No, I can't do this one. What am I doing? Shoot, which one can I do? I can't do any of them. Okay, so I've run into a wall here, I guess. I need to take that money back and reverse what I just did because I can't, I thought it was the wrong resource, my mistake. So we're gonna take the ringleader back into our hand, so we're back to 3 again. I'm not using this card yet, so there we go, we're reset. Now I gotta just figure out, we gotta go for the trade because everything we need is at a low level, first tier resource. So now the question just becomes, I need, oh, this is tough. Let's see. I've already got the cattle out, so that's good. I've got the wood out. I need the gear. The gear is in a second tier, so that's not gonna help me. Do I have the writing resource out yet? I don't think I do. So maybe it's the writing resource that I need, which is this one. I need this in play somewhere. So if I do that, what I might have to do before I pay for this, is build a road. So I'm going to go ahead and use the ringleader to build a road. So this ring layer is going to go face down. It's going to allow me to get a road, which I'm going to put right here, right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the trade action of this card right here, spend it right now to put this on a neutral place. Neutral is going to cost me, let's see, entrance of coastal. It's going to cost me, that's going to be a tough decision. Oh, it would cost me 3. Oh, that's really expensive. But I don't think I have a choice. I really, really don't think I have a choice. Yeah. I need this out on the board. So the gear that I need minor resources. Like I need this thing and I need to book. You know what? I need this regardless. I don't have a choice. So I got to get this out. So I'm going to put it right here. It's going to cost me 3, which is crazy expensive. So that's put on the board now. I also get a claim token on it. Of course, at this point now, my income's actually off the track. So I don't know how that works. I'm going to have to double check that at the end of the video to see whether it wraps right around. But we'll move it up to this to say that I'm at the next level. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put 2 of them on just to say that I've kind of gone around. This is my second time around. So that action is now done. I've gained that ability there. I have a construct for a personal bit. I have no money. I have an upgrade, which I definitely need. So now that I've got that resource out, the plus side of this is it doesn't satisfy anything on the board, but it gets me the ability. I can potentially go after the gear now, but in order to get the gear, I need 4 coins, and I can't generate that with what I have here. Not even close. So what I'm gonna have to do is deal with the fact that I'm not going to be able to clear these. I'm going to have to play one of these face down. I'm going to play this one face down in order to gain a follow action. And for my follow action, I'm going to gain a coin because I think what I'm going to do is recruit an advisor. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And I need a coin to recruit an advisor. So that'll allow me to pick one of these 2, and that'll give me a lasting influence, which is smart. And then maybe I'll just use this one to gain another coin so that I'm more ready for the next turn. And then now I'm going to go ahead and use the recruit action where I gain a fleeting influence, and I also gain, I know I'll gain a lasting influence, so I'll take that now. I'm going to pay 1 coin because I'm grabbing an advisor from this track here. Perform a trade action at -1 cost. Not really that great for me in solo play. Recruit an advisor for no cost. Huge. I will take that one. So that one's off the board now. And this one actually goes into my hand by recruiting it right away. So then I'm going to use it immediately for a follow action. This has been discarded as well. And I'll gain another coin. And then, of course, all this stuff's going to shuffle down the board. And I'm going to pull out the next card. And you'll see this is the very first one that actually costs us some points in terms of influence when we buy it. And that is it. Okay, so that, I think, covers my entire turn. I have 2 of these resources that still haven't been delivered, but I have a lot of influence to pay for my decisions. So hopefully I can make this work somehow. I'm getting closer. It's very, very sketchy. All right, so at this point now, we're going to go to the call to vote. So we're going to collect our income. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop right here because the video's gone really long. So I'm going to stop it at this point here, and we're going to go into the call to vote kind of phase, or the income phase first, and then the call to vote in the next video. So I hope you guys are enjoying. Hopefully, I was able to capture everything in that video. That was a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying. Let me know in the comments below if you saw anything I missed. And we have moved over to the new section of Gloomhaven. So until the next time, keep on rolling solo.